A lot of this we've already seen. So this just adds one new shape. It adds, well, I guess it's two, but it's the same formula, rhombus and a kite. We've already done trapezoid. We're going to add one wrinkle into solving for trapezoid, but other than that, pretty much the same as last time. Pretty simple day. This won't take very long. So let's remember the formula for trapezoid. Base 1 plus base 2 divided by 2 times the height. This one gives you everything you need, so all we're having to do is plug in the numbers. Okay, we're given the two bases, we're given the height. 12 plus 18 divided by 2, and then we're going to multiply it by that height, which is 7. Remember, if it gave you any of these like diagonal pieces like W, Z, or X, Y, that's not the height. The height and the base always have to be at a right angle. Always. Anytime these are in a formula, they must be at a right angle to each other, or it doesn't work. Yes. It's 105 units. So you're going to add the 12 and the 18. You get 30. Cut that in half. It's 15. And then 15 times 7. Is 15 times 7 105? All right. Well, good. Unit squared. And then we're moving on. Now we've got trapezoid formula, and we're going backwards. So we did this for parallelograms and triangles last time. Remember, where we're given the area, we've got to plug that in, we've got to solve for either the base or the height. We're doing the same thing now, just with trapezoids. So it gives us the area, which is 52. So our area is 52. We have the formula written up here. I'm not going to write it again. So if you need it, there it is. 52 is our area. We don't have one of the bases, so we're going to put an X for one of the bases, because we don't know what it is. And then the other base is 10, divide that by 2, multiply it by the height. Here's the deal with this. There's a few different ways we can approach this. What we can do is we can multiply by 2 on both sides, and we can get 104 equals this. So this is one way we can approach it. 8 times x plus 10. Another way we can approach this problem is just by dividing 8 and 2. Okay? So that's another way you can do it. This also works, and I'll show you, you'll get the same answer. So you get 52 equals x plus 10 times 4. These are the same thing. Those are both ways to solve this problem. And you will get the same thing. It's kind of dark. Yeah, but for here, what you can do, so even if you don't divide that first, we can distribute this out, or we can just go ahead and divide 104 by 8. Whatever you want to do. I'm going to go ahead and distribute it out. 8x plus 80 equals 104. We want to subtract 80 on both sides. So 8x is going to be 24. And then x equals 3. So a lot of this is really just you're plugging out all the numbers in and then just knowing orders of operations, knowing what you can do, because this one's kind of different from all our other problems. It's got an addition sign. So just make sure you are not, one thing I see a lot is people, they want to take this and they want to make that x plus 5 because it's divided by 2. Y'all see that? And they just want to have 52 equals x plus 5 times 8. You can't do that because that means this is 1/2 x plus 5. Because if you're cutting the 10 in half, you have to cut the x in half because there's that addition symbol in between. So really, if you don't make that mistake, then you'll probably be fine with these. Just know what you can do as far as order of operations. There's a bunch of different ways to solve this. All right. So now we get to find the median. Okay, for some reason, this problem right here throws people off, the median thing. Medians are not difficult. All the median is the average of the height and the base. So if we look at our formula, no, I'm sorry, not the average of the height and base, the average of the two bases. My bad. Base 1, base 2 divided by 2 times the height. So if y'all notice what's going on here, all we're doing is taking the average of the bases. I can't speak. Taking the average of the bases and then multiplying it by the height. Can you see that? Because anytime you add two numbers together and cut them in half, that's the average. Just like you got, two grades, you add them together, cut them in half, that's your average in a class. You can't see that. Okay. So that's all you're doing here. Now it's blurry. This is good. This is going well. So, okay. Average. Right there. That's the average, and that is what the median is. They're the same thing. The median is the average of the bases. So, median is the average of the bases. That's all you got to do. So you're kind of taking the first part of the trapezoid formula, just leaving out the height, doing the first part of that formula. So if we want to find the median, we have to find the average of the bases in this particular problem. So you've got, we can call this base 1, we can call this base 2. We need to add them together, cut them in half. That we can do. So 14 plus 6 divided by 2. You get 20. Cut that in half. 10. Awesome. So now we have our median. This is our median. And then it wants us to find the area. Okay? Notice what we have with this area formula. The average of the bases is the first part of the area formula. So what do we have to multiply the median by to get the area? Y'all see that on there? Yeah, just the height. That's it. Yeah. So, is this difficult? No, but people forget that this is all you have to do. And sometimes you're just given the median and the height and asked to find the area. All you have to do is multiply them together, but people can't remember what to do. Okay? So, that's all you're doing. You take the median, multiply it by the height, you get the area, and you are done. Oh, yeah, I can see that. Okay. So, units squared. So what this is the median. This is the height. And that's the area, and you're done. There's an exact test question that gives you the median and the height and asks for the area. All it wants you to do is multiply them together, and I see kids staring at that problem for half an hour because they can't figure it out. Okay? Just remember that. Anytime you're given the median is the average of the bases, so it's the first part of that formula. And I can say it probably 20 times, but you're probably still going to forget, so just make sure you study that. It's going to be on the review. Okay? Alright, new shapes, yay! So we've got area of a kite and a rhombus. They actually have the same formula. This is what it is. D1 times D2 divided by 2. Can anyone guess what the D stands for? Diagonals. It's written on your paper. Yeah, so it stands for diagonals. So this one's real easy. It gives you the two diagonals. You're just plugging them in. The next one, it gets a little more complicated, and I'll show you how it can get weird. But this one's super easy. You're just multiplying the two diagonals. So there's diagonal 1, diagonal 2. They're interchangeable. It does not matter which one is 1 and which one is 2, because all you're doing is multiplying them together. So they can be switched. So diagonal, we'll call it diagonal 1, 9, diagonal 2, 14. And then cut it in half, and I think it's 63. If it's wrong, let me know. Woo! Got it right for once. It's a miracle. Alright, so that's just kind of how to work the formula. It's really easy. The next one, it gets a little more difficult. So we have to remember some stuff about the rhombus. It's like, this is that project that never goes away. Do we remember anything about the rhombus? You can throw it out there. Something about the sides in particular. The sides are something. Yep. It's good. What could the sides be if they're not parallel? Yeah. No, different one. They are not parallel. Okay. Here's the deal with the rhombus. It's basically, yes, they're equal. Awesome. So here's the deal with the rhombus. It's kind of like a square without right angles. So I'm going to draw it real quick. It also kind of looks like a kite. That's why kites and rhombuses? I don't know. Have the same formula. So I'm drawing this kite. I'm drawing in the diagonals. It's not a kite, it's a rhombus. Okay, it's a rhombus. I'm drawing in the diagonals. It has a longer diagonal and a shorter diagonal. We're going to say the vertical one is the longer diagonal. One thing you have to remember about a rhombus, this is going to show up a lot, is that their diagonals bisect at a right angle. Their diagonals are perpendicular. Which we learned this, 2 months ago when we did the quadrilaterals. But then we did circles, and then your brain just completely forgot all the quadrilaterals. So that's why we're going over this again. It says the perimeter is 20. Well, if all the sides are the same and the perimeter is 20, I'm pretty sure we can figure out what each side is. Right? How many sides are there on this? Yeah, it's a quadrilateral. It's a four-sided shape. So if we take 20 and we divide it by 4, each side has to be 5 units long. 5, 5, 5. But for this formula, diagonal 1 times diagonal 2 divided by 2, do we care about the sides? We don't. But we do need the sides to find the diagonal. It says that the perimeter is 20. Okay, we got that. The diagonal is 8. So this is the longer diagonal is 8. So we're going to call this the longer diagonal. If the whole thing is 8, this is going to be 4. This is going to be 4. It's been a while since we've looked at this stuff, but any rhombus, rectangle, square, parallelogram, all the diagonals are going to bisect each other. So anytime it gives you a diagonal, you can always cut it in half because they bisect. For a rhombus. It's not the same for a kite, but anytime it asks a question like this, it won't give you this stuff for a kite because you can't solve that way. All right. So we've got blank 4, 5, and we've got a bunch of right triangles. Yeah, so it's a triple. You're going to see triples every day of this unit. You cannot get away from them. They will haunt your dreams. So it's a 3, 4, 5 triangle here, a 3, 4, 5 triangle here. Look at that. Now we have the diagonals. Okay? So it's kind of a lot of work to figure out the diagonals, but you're going to be doing the same thing every time. Anytime you see rhombus, you got to remember 2 things. Maybe 3. All the sides are the same. So if you're given a perimeter, you just divide it by 4. And that the diagonals are perpendicular, so you can do Pythagorean theorem. And also that the diagonals bisect each other. So you can split the diagonals in half. If you remember all that, you'll be fine. Solomon already has it in his brain. He's got it all. So that's good. So one of the diagonals is 8. What is the other diagonal?
6.
Okay. Yes. A lot of people put 3. It is 6. Make sure you see that. I see that a lot. So it's the entire diagonal. 48 divided by 2. 8 times 6 is 48. Cut that in half, you get 24. Can y'all see that? Y'all can't see that. There you go. So 24 units squared. So yes, a lot going on there. But that is it. That's it for today. Pretty painless. Now if I can figure out how to turn this off, that would be great. There's the mouse.